Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a thick water liquid spiral, and it's inspired by the colors in the Steelers uniform. So it looks like I have the shirt turned inside out for this one, and I typically do with the women's cuts. They don't lay very flat because of that little bit of extra fabric, so I find it easier if I turn them inside out to get the seams on the outside. So smooth out as many wrinkles as you can and then decide where you want the center of your spiral to be, and for this one I'm going in the center of the shirt, and give it a little pinch. And I'm using the modified fork and the microwave splatter guard to create my spiral. So give the fork 2 or 3 twists, that's it, just get the spiral started, and then with your opposite hand pull the fabric out and around, creating the pleats. And just keep doing this until you can't go any farther using the splatter guard. You want to hold down the center of your spiral and gently wiggle the fork out. Now I like to secure my spirals by using rubber bands, and for this particular project I'm using my favorite rubber bands, and I do have them listed down below in the description box along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so make sure you check that out. So I get a few rubber bands on, and then I like to tighten up my spiral. That's the one thing with the splatter guard, it doesn't make them very tight. And since this is going to be a liquid dye, I don't have an ice barrier that I can put on there to hold everything together. So I'm going to have to get this all tucked in. So I like to pull on the loose tails and tuck them into the nearest rubber band. And if you notice, I pull the tails towards me. Now, I don't know if that's because I'm left-handed and they happen to be on that side. I notice when I watch Greg do his, he pulls it away from him, and you have to do whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Greg over at Goyo's Garden and Tie-Dye. So you notice how I'm pulling it towards me? Next time you watch one of his spirals, watch how he pulls it away from him and see if either technique helps you. And then that's it. You'll have a beautiful spiral. It takes a few extra minutes, but I think it's well worth it because then you can pick your spiral up, you can flip it, move it around, do whatever you need to do with it, and it's not going to fall apart. See, just that extra couple minutes, and look, that's a pretty good looking spiral right there, if I do say so myself. Next, I like to mark up my pattern using a washable marker. Now, you could just follow your rubber band pie pieces if you've got your rubber bands on there perfectly. I have them on there pretty darn good, and I really could have just probably followed my rubber bands, but I'm in the habit of marking out my pattern. Even if I don't follow it to a T, it helps me stay on track. And just one other little trick, if you orientate the tag of your shirt, you can decide what color you want to put near your face. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye. And this particular pattern calls for white space. So I'm going to start out by using my thick water. Thick water is going to hold that white space. And the reason I like to start with a thick water first is it gives it a chance to seep down into the fibers and hold that space. So when I come back in with my colored dye, it's not going to bleed into the white space. You can do it however you want it, but this is just how I do it. And I like to add it to both the front and the back just so it can really get started. And you don't necessarily need to fill in the entire piece of the pie. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I should also mention, I mixed this thick water, oh, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and it's been sitting out on my sun porch, and I've had zero issue with it. In the past, it has turned to mold on me. It didn't do that this time, so I just went ahead and used it. Okay, so what thick water is, it's sodium alginate and plain old-fashioned tap water. And I do have a couple of tutorials on how to mix thick water, and I have a handful of tutorials where I use thick water. So I definitely recommend that you go and find those tutorials, check them out, and educate yourself on what thick water is, and then watch the tutorials where I use it. And I think the more you see it in action, the more it will help you understand its purpose. I'm going to give you some backstory on this shirt. So I wanted to make my friend a shirt, and I said, what colors do you want? And she says, I want Steelers colors, black and yellow. And I think I just went blank on my face because she's like, what? What's wrong with black and yellow? And for those of you that have been following along, you may remember back in winter time, I tried to make some aprons that were black and yellow. The material wasn't cotton. It was a disaster, so I ended up making black and yellow shirts to make up for it, and I hope to never make black and yellow anything ever again from that terrible experience. I love you, Deb. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that traumatized me. Anyways, so I'm thinking to myself, Steelers colors are gold, blue, and red. How am I going to put basically yellow, blue, and red together and not make a rainbow? So I took to the internet and I found a lot of uniform colors, and I was so happy when I saw that it also has black, white, and gray. So I said all that to say this. I feel like if I started with my secondary colors, which would be the black, gray, and white, then I could go in and add my primary colors, which would be the yellow, blue, and red, and I broke all that up, I'm not going to create a rainbow. And I think by doing that, it works out really good. So once I got all the dye on the top side, I like to let my shirt sit for like 10 minutes, just like let it rest a little bit. And then I come back and I flip it. And this trick of using another rack to flip it is wonderful. That way you don't have to wipe your rack off. You can just flip it over, your spiral is not going to fall apart on you, you have a fresh clean rack, and then you just go for it. So all I'm going to do now on the back side is repeat what I did on the top side. Another little tip, when you need to have white space on a shirt, even though you're using thick water or even white dye that you can get from Prochem, make that piece of the pie larger than the other pieces because it still creeps into the white area. It does its job very well, but you know, dye moves, and so it does the best that it can to hold back the dye, but it's not 100% perfect. And I also have a tendency to be pretty heavy-handed with my liquid just because I'm really super out of practice with it, and I'm so terrified of having white space in my colors that I go a little crazy. You don't need to add quite as much dye as I'm adding. You want to find a happy medium. You want to have good saturation, but it certainly should not be dripping in the bottom of your pan. And since we're on the topic of oversaturation at the moment, I could leave well alone, maybe just beef up that gray right there, but I don't. I keep adding more dye. And so if you look at the golden yellow, you notice how the black is steadily creeping into the yellow. The dye doesn't have anywhere to go, so it's pushing along the pleats. You want to watch out for stuff like that. Now, I go and add even more golden yellow because I'm trying to flush that black back to where it needs to belong, and that's not necessarily the answer. So the foil pans leak, so you need to place it down inside of something. Plus, I want to put the lid on it so I can batch it. And it's recommended that you let your project batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours. and this shirt ended up batching for about 4 days. I just could not get to the rinse out, and that's fine. It sat in its tote, it did its thing. I didn't touch it, move it. It was just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. After 48 hours, procion dye and soda ash are really no longer having any chemical reaction. So, you know, I was in no rush. So now it's time for the rinse out, and you want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within your fabric. Pretend like I just batched it for 24 hours. So start by using the cold water to get out the soda ash, and make sure you rinse your white space really well. You don't want the colors redepositing onto your white. Then you want to increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Kirillon. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft, and then I put it in the dryer and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Now with this shirt, I was out of Millsoft for the very first time, and I can tell you the shirt feels like a piece of cardboard. Ugh. Well, here it is, guys. I think it turned out pretty good. Now, these are not colors that I would normally put together, but since I was inspired by the Steelers uniform, I think that I've achieved that here. And the white stayed white, and that always makes me feel happy. Now, for the handful of you that watched yesterday's tutorial when I mixed up the dye, you see here, you can mix dye with tap water and still achieve an excellent looking shirt. So I just want to clarify, the reason why I only use tap water is because I have a lot of brand new tie-dyers that are watching the channel that don't have all of the chemicals and all of the supplies. And so I just wanted to demonstrate that you don't need all of that. You can still make tie-dye with the water that comes out of your sink. So overall, I'm really pleased with the way the shirt turned out. I think the black lines and the golden yellow are kind of cool and give it some interest. And yeah, I'm happy with it. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click your bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads, and then you won't miss anything. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!